So in today's class, we are going to see other event classes. Most of these event classes are theoretical. The most frequently used event class, what we have seen is action event, and then adjustment event. Okay, fine. If you're working with scroll bar, and then one more event class, what we will learn, that is item event. That is somewhat frequently used, but these other classes are theoretical, but they are still important to us because they are super classes of some or the other class. And through the hierarchy, we use their methods, as we use assets of our grandparents. So similarly, the event classes which we practically use, these classes are derived from these super classes, and hence the methods defined in these classes are also important to us. So the class what we are discussing now is the component event class. The component event, as the name suggests, it is related with some or the other component. Now, when we talk about graphical user interface, there are two things. One is the board on which the components are kept. So the interfaces itself, or you can say the kind of container. Okay, so let me show you with the annotation. There are two types of components. The first type are called as container components. Of course, they are popularly called as containers itself. And then examples of these containers are applets and frame. We have worked only on applets so far. Slowly, we'll start with frames programming also. We'll start with simple frames, maybe by next class, another 2 classes, and we'll start with simple programs. Because the programs which are given in your textbook are quite complicated. So before we actually jump to those programs, we need to be a little bit acquainted with this frame interface also. So frame and applet, these are the two types of containers what we will work with in our programs. And then on these containers, we will place some of the components, like this is a text field component, then you will have checkbox component, then you will have radio button components, and then when you'll have a list here, it is called a list box component. So all these are components. So whenever the components are placed, remember there are two situations. The components are placed at design time. Design time in the sense when we have not yet started executing the programs. Or you can say through the program also, when we are trying to place the components. It rarely happens because what we do is first we design and then we start actually executing the program. Rarely there will be situation like as I think I had told you about Visual Basic. In Visual Basic programming, the kind of programming or the kind of programs what we used to do, I will tell you a kind of example here. Okay, all of you concentrate on my cursor here. I'm going to show you the interface of this board itself here. Okay, so can you see my cursor here at the top left corner?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So which option I am trying to, highlight or address?
Paste.
Paste, cut, copy. If I click on this paste, cut or copy, will something happen? Right now, is it going to, what is the difference between this format painter and cut right now? Not in functionality, but in the visibility.
We cannot perform paste, but we can
Right now,
perform
why?
format point.
Why? Because this component or this option appears to be disabled right now. Similarly, I can show you this. Undo and redo. Can you see normally we can undo only when we have done some action. Right now we have just started with the class. We have not done any action. That means I have not done any typing, nothing I have done on this Word document. That's why this undo and redo are disabled. That's why it shows can't undo and can't redo. The moment I type something, see here, I have typed. Now can you see this undo is enabled? Earlier it said can't undo, but right now it is showing undo is enabled. Why? Because just now I did some action and which can be undone. Fine. So there are some options here in Word, very smartly designed. See, these options will be enabled only when they can be used. Okay, like see, when I have not done any action, this undo option, there was no point in making this undo enabled. By mistake, if the user will try to click when it was not to be used, then it will be like its functionality will not be recognized much. Similarly, this cut, copy and paste will be enabled only when I have highlighted something. If I don't highlight any text to be cut or copied, these options will not be enabled. Okay, I can just demonstrate you now. I will just highlight. I hope you understand what do you mean by highlight. I have highlighted or selected this text, the word class. The moment I selected, cut and copy is enabled. That means right now I can copy this text and I can cut, or I can cut this text. So this cut and copy got visible only when I have selected the text. And still the paste is disabled because paste will be enabled only when I have cut something or copied something. Okay, let me try to cut. Now can you see paste is enabled? Fine. So I will just undo it now. So this is how some of the options are made visible or enabled only when they are, I mean, at the time of execution. Right now I'm working with that, and then these options are disabled. Just a moment, there is some problem again. So now only 50% गेला.